So welcome back, everybody, to the Dribble and Drive podcast. I'm Jack.
I'm Anthony.
And, so we're back talking some football, talking some basketball, because NBA season's starting within the next week, right?
Yeah, October 22nd, so less than a week.
Awesome. Can't wait. And then college basketball, too. We go to Merrimack, so we're in the MAC conference now, so we'll make some noise, hopefully in that conference.
Yeah.
Hopefully make some March Madness noise, but we'll see about that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk a little college hoops, a little professional, and also touch on NFL a little bit to start here. So
sounds good.
I guess to get us started, let's first, I guess that Seahawks 49ers game, that was kind of an interesting game.
It was.
I was in the middle of watching it, and I forget what the score was at one point, but I turned it off because it was like 24-0.
Yeah.
Or it was getting ugly.
The 49ers were up big at going into the halftime, and then they scored out of halftime, and then the Seahawks came back and had a really good drive, and they made some noise.
That kick return.
That kick return was huge.
Is that the first kick return of the season?
I think it was. I think it was Laviska Shenault, who was drafted a few years ago. I'm glad to see him getting his in the NFL because I feel like he didn't get a good chance in Jacksonville, so that was big for him. But yeah, that may be the first kick return touchdown. I think so. Debo took 76 yards to the house. That was a receiving touchdown, though. That wasn't a kick. So yeah, I think the only one was Laviska. That was crazy and huge for the Seahawks. They have 4 receivers that they use like abundantly, like Smith and Jigba, Metcalf, Lockett, obviously, but Chenault's a great player, and they use something interesting is that according to PFF at least, they're actually running the ball at the best rate in the NFL, tied with the Packers.
With the Seahawks?
Yes, but they also run at the third lowest rate in the NFL. So they use Walker as a receiving back a lot. They get him running, but and when Walker's running, it's working. Charbonnet as well, but they're not running a lot. So it's interesting that they're top of the league in rushing rate, but they're bottom of the league in how often they rush.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see Walker get a few more touches because he's on my fantasy team.
100%.
Selfishly.
He's so talented.
But, I think if you're either team, you can't be feeling, great coming away from this game just because, hey, the 49ers, you guys were up so big early, and then you kind of let them hang around, and you made it a game, and it was interesting. And then if you're Seattle, you kind of look at it damn, we played good for at least 2.5 quarters, and we still, you know what I mean, if we just didn't get down so big so early. So both teams probably looking at that saying, hey, we could play better, and Absolutely. I'd expect the divisional matchup later in the season to probably be a little bit better, and the Seahawks probably give them a better fight.
Yeah, especially, so this game was that was in Seattle. It's crazy because I was watching the game and it felt like it was in San Francisco. There's so many 49ers fans. Makes sense, close locations, division rivals, and the 49ers are always showing up, at the Rams Stadium or whatever, so that was cool. But yeah, I completely agree. The 49ers, it seems like they kind of like to get out to early leads, look like they're killing the team, and then, they kind of blow that lead, and that's their issue right now. But at the same time, for the 49ers, I look at it as you're holding on to a top 10 offense, holding on to a top 10 defense as well, without McCaffrey playing. So I like them scoring 36 points and winning a division game without McCaffrey. But at the same time, the way they won it was you kind of blew your lead. So as for Shanahan at least, that's kind of his signature. In Super Bowls and big playoff games, that's kind of what happens. So
yeah, it's a trend.
It's not a good sign. But at the same time, they are playing without McCaffrey. Purdy does look good, but Jordan Mason looks good. But I don't know. It's still the same thing with them. They blow their lead. Shanahan. Are you going to get it done? I don't know. The way I'm looking at it, I still think they're the best team in the league. Not right now, obviously, but I think they're my Super Bowl favorite, offensively, defensively. I think they have to get one. And every year they go on a little skid where their guys get hurt, but they pick it up and they go usually to the Super Bowl or something. So I think it's going to be the same trend this year, honestly. That's just my honest opinion. Seahawks, they're starting Stone Forsythe at right tackle, and he's getting obliterated. He's embarrassingly bad. I don't know if the Stars are going to be much better, so hopefully, but
yeah, so we'll see. They play again in 4 weeks, so that should be fun to see.
That'll be a great game.
I guess let's keep it rolling here. We'll go to London, where we saw the Bears and the Jags. Caleb Williams, 4 TDs, finally looking good.
He's looking good these past 2 weeks.
I don't know if that's because he's playing the Jaguars, but hey, you got to count for the Jaguars played the Texans close. I mean,
They're not. They're a talented team. Like they have talent all over. It's a good win. It's a good win for the Bears. They killed him.
Yeah, and as we're saying with we've been saying the past few weeks with Doug Peterson, it's only about time.
Right.
Maybe they're just waiting to hire someone maybe before. Maybe they're doing the job search while he's in London, while he's out of the facility.
You got to
Who
be.
knows?
Because how is he still in the building? How is he not gotten fired yet? It's embarrassing, honestly. Press Taylor, too, the OC. Like, the whole thing's a mess. I don't know why they haven't fired Doug Pearson. Like, he's lost the locker room. Like, Lawrence still makes some really good throws, but everything.
ETN, it was so bad.
Dude, how is this happening? How do you spend a first-rounder on a running back who's really talented, really good in college, and then you just can't get an identity with him at all. You can't even, like, Tank Bigsby's leading the league in yards per carry with over 7. Like, what is happening? What in the world is happening? I don't know. I think Pearson's lost the locker room, and I think he needs to go. But as for the Bears, like, the defense is looking really good. It was just a matter of time before Caleb starts looking good and the offense looks good. It's looking good now. Like, 4 touchdowns, impressive. 35-16, even over the Jaguars. That's a good win for the Bears. We'll see if the offense can keep it up.
They don't even need that out of him every week. They just need half of that.
Right. Literally half of it.
So, and that's what the games were close when he wasn't doing anything and putting up maybe a touchdown a game if he was lucky, where he's learned. It's pretty clear, like the past 5 weeks, he's learned and he's adjusting and he's getting more comfortable with his guys.
He looks so much more comfortable.
Yeah, he almost made it look like easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just like he's like, step back. Oh, this guy's wide open and dropped it right to him.
It's scary hours in Chicago, and they're getting DeAndre Swift too. They're getting production from him in the run game. So, hey, I don't know. This defense is really good. Like, if this offense can keep this up against teams that aren't named the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers, watch out for them. Like in the NFC to win, it's so tough in their division, but watch out for them. The Bucks also killed the Saints. I don't really have too much to say about either of those teams. I think they're both pretty mediocre. Obviously, the Bucks are pretty good. But I think they have a ceiling with Baker.
It's kind of disappointing, the Saints defense. I know they're a little banged up, but they were kind of projected to be one of the best defensive units in the NFL, and they just had 51 dropped on them like that. So that's
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Bucky Irvin looked great. And then the Commanders, Ravens, I mean, it's kind of what I expected. Like, Jaden Daniels, he's phenomenal, but are the Commanders going to hang in with the Ravens with that defense? I don't think so.
Yeah, and there was no run game outside, Jaden Daniels. Yeah. Like, with his threat, I think Austin Eckler had like 20-something yards.
Yeah.
Like, for Jaden Daniels, he also only had 20 yards. So their run game just needs to get going. And
they were missing Robinson.
Brian Robinson wasn't playing.
They were missing him. So that's true. But at the same time, like, I think this is kind of like what you're going to get from both of these teams. Like, the Ravens are elite of the elite, and the Commanders, they have an elite offense. Daniels is really good, and he looks special at times, but the defense isn't good enough to hang with this Ravens team. Like, it makes sense.
If you told Commanders fans that they had a chance to even compete with the Ravens, they'd be like, what? Like, even like 3-4 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, literally 3 weeks ago, the Commanders had no idea this whole thing was going on. Like, they had no clue. Good for them. Cardinals, Packers, like, not too much to say about that game. Jordan Love and the Packers look really good.
Yeah, let's get to the Texans Patriots.
100%.
Yeah,
Drake,
that's
May.
my team there.
Yo, you as a Patriots fan, you got to come out of that game feeling good.
Yeah. No, like, I'm sure you've heard other people say it, but we have hope.
You have hope.
That first touchdown pass he threw was like the longest touchdown pass by a Patriots quarterback in like 3 years since Tom Brady. So
that was a beautiful pass to Boutte.
Yeah, and there were some mistakes. He did have a fumble, threw 2 interceptions. One wasn't his fault, but like, hey, for a first game debut, surely he could sling the rock and he can move around that pocket, and he's got awareness in the pocket.
He's really good.
There were guys getting blown up. There was a play that got blown up that was a run play, and he just yanked it back and took it outside and completed a pass. So he's got that instinct of a good quarterback, and he's bigger than people think. He's 6'4",
dude.
So he's
got that
a little muscle on him. I think he could become a good runner.
He's got that Josh Allen ability. Like, right now, I feel like he's a lot like Justin Herbert, maybe Jordan Love. But he's got that ability to reach that, like, Josh Allen, like, level of running as well. He's got everything. He made some great throws. That throw over the middle to Douglas, that throw to Boutte, like, just, you see the potential. Obviously, with that one pick that was clearly his fault. That's just like the nerves. That's just like
and that was second drive of the game. You know, like if you take away that first quarter, he plays like a really
Pro
good
Bowl
game.
quarterback. Like he shake the jitters out with that one play. Like that play, maybe it's gonna happen again, but it's not gonna be a recurring thing.
Yeah, he makes the O-line's job just a little bit easier because he can move, and he's not afraid to throw in those tight windows. I feel like he's just got that. So I'm excited. Next week we got the Jags.
I completely agree with what you said right there about the
Jags.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
He should like that's why I'm over Daniels coming into the league, just because like he has that like he can fit the ball in those tight windows. So the potential is through the roof. But yeah, like you said, you get the Jags next week. It's a great opportunity for him to have a really good game. Like obviously you don't want to have too high of expectations, but how can you not?
Yeah, with this railing Jags team right now, like this thing is right there for the taking. So
exactly. Lions, Cowboys, that was brutal. Jerry Jones, you should be embarrassed. 47-9 on your birthday. And he goes on the radio show and they ask about the roster construction and like what's wrong with the team, and he gets mad and he calls for their jobs. He tells them they're not doing their jobs right. That's not the question you should be asking me. You should be focused on what's going right. What's going right, Jerry? You're 3-3. You just got killed. Like I said, on your birthday, on your home floor, 47-9.
Fourth straight loss at home.
What's their good, Jerry? You're gonna go on radio shows calling for people's jobs. You should be embarrassed. I'm gonna hold back.
Like, I saw this thing online where I think there was a ball thrown down the field to who's the new number 2 receiver there?
Tolbert,
yeah, Jaden Tolbert, and they threw the ball up to him and like couldn't see it because the sun was in his eyes. And it's like your big stadium. You're just. I don't know. I know he's trying. He wants to win a Super Bowl, but like it's just like,
dude, it's like, what are you doing?
The best thing he can do probably right now is just to step out of the way after this season.
He has to, but he's not going to, and it sucks so bad. Like, man, I get we're injured, dude. Like, I get we're injured, but it's not just this game. It's the whole team. There's an issue. The coach should not be there.
Yeah.
The coach sucks, and I pray to God that Ben Johnson is the Cowboys head coach next year. I don't know if Jerry Jones' ego is going to allow him to make that hire, because this is a great young head coach or offensive coordinator. The entire league wants these young, talented offensive coordinators. It's the next McVay, Shanahan. He waited on a job. He didn't even take the Commanders' head coaching job last year. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Jaguars, I don't know who else are going to be looking for head coaches. The Jets.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
I feel like they've had the same core for so long now, and we know its limits.
Dak
feels like he's regressing.
Yeah, he does. But at the same time, I hold on to the hope that, like, if you give him a good offensive head coach, he's going to be good. Like, I believe that. And I don't know how good. I don't know if I'm overhyping Dak, but you paid him $60 million. Like, you just paid him $60 million. You're locked in with him. As the Cowboys, now you got to get the coach, because the coach and the quarterback dynamic are clearly not working. You committed to the quarterback. Now you got to get a coach. You know your coach is terrible. I don't know why he's not gone.
Yeah.
So you have a young guy like Ben Johnson available. It's like, why not? But yeah, it's a whole thing. Cowboys probably.
I think, like you said, the fix starts at the top there,
right. It starts at the top, and if Jerry's not willing to put his ego aside, then he's got to go.
Yeah,
it's a really rough situation in Dallas. One other thing I wanted to talk about is Fields got benched after putting 32 on the Raiders. I know he doesn't look like amazing, but he looks good. Like, what does Russell Wilson give you? Is it just the respect factor that they're putting Wilson in, you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they just promised him the job.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he doesn't bring.
Got there, and I'm sure the leash is going to be short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not going to be. He goes up there and puts an egg in the first half. I think like they'll be calling for Fields. I mean, let's see. Are they on the road next week?
They are playing.
Yeah, they're at home versus the Jets.
So think prime time.
Think about it. If they're playing this Jets team that's railing right now, and they lose, and they're going into halftime putting up a stinker on offense, I think Fields is coming out for the second half.
He's got
you can't. How can't you?
It's you're 3 and you're 4-2. You're 4-2. You're winning football games. Obviously, Fields isn't like Mahomes. We know that. So what does Russell Wilson give you over Fields? No mobility. He doesn't have the arm that Fields has at this point. Like, just the decision making and the accuracy, but like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't like it.
And with Pickens and all those, I don't know. I just don't know how patient, that whole situation's going to be there.
And they're not running the ball well. Najee Harris isn't good. The offensive line isn't good. Fields, like, I'm a fan of him personally, but I don't think he's playing exceptional right now. But he's doing his job. He's winning football games.
Yeah.
I don't know what more they want. I think it's just more of a respect thing. But yeah. What do you want to move on to next?
Let's do one more. So I know the Bills and Jets played, but let's talk about Amari Cooper to the Bills. So like they finally, you're an old Dallas guy. So
yeah, I like it. Amari Cooper, like he was never the problem in Dallas. It was just Dallas is dysfunctional. Like he put up some crazy numbers in Cleveland. Obviously that came to a halt, but that's because of Cleveland. He's been productive his entire career. Obviously he's getting older. He's 30, but this is what the Bills needed. They needed a wide receiver one, and their rival, who they were just in a close game with, atop the AFC competitor, the Jets. They got Devontae Adams, who the Bills probably I wanted them to get because they need the wide receiver one. The Jets got better. Yeah. They needed to make their own move. They did it. I think they made the right decision with Cooper. Only give up a third. Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, I think, are fine. If Shakir's in the slot and Coleman, isn't...
Yeah, Shakir can't be your one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And neither can Coleman. You can't create that separation. So they play their roles and Cooper plays the one. I think it's perfect. And you have tight ends, too, with Kincaid and Knox. So I love it for the Bills. The Chiefs are still the favorite atop the AFC until the Bills or Ravens can prove they beat them. Then the Texans are right there. The Jets aren't giving up. And then I'm counting up the Bengals and Steelers because I think they lack talent on one side of the ball each.
Yeah, and it's just hard to... The Bengals, a lot of things are going to have to go right. They're 2-4.
So I'm looking at it as the Chiefs are the favorite, and then the Bills and the Ravens are right there. And the Bills made a home run move to keep themselves in that race. So I like it. And then the Jets, I think it's kind of...
Did you see the graphic with all the players that followed from Green Bay to New York?
No, I didn't.
It was like something like the Green Bay offense from like when Aaron Rodgers, one of his last seasons there. Like there were like 9 players on the Jets that were on that offense.
Yeah, they brought Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard,
and all these guys are just older.
Yeah, they brought in Dalvin Cook at one point last year.
Yeah,
it's like a whole mess. I don't like it. I don't know, because it's like part of you had to make the move, but at the same time, it's like you could have just given up.
Did you see, like, Aaron Rodgers was hanging out with, like, Devontae Adams before the trade even went through at his house?
Aaron Rodgers has this franchise by a handhold, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Why, like, we know Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't care. Like, why are you still giving up third-round picks? Could be a second just because, you make it to a conference championship. I don't know. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I know you've already invested so much into it, but you fired your head coach, who wasn't a problem, probably. I do like them getting rid of Hackett, though. That's the last thing I'll say. I do like Hackett not being the OC anymore. They brought in their passing game coordinator, I think, to be that. So, yeah, I think they're on the right track to being a better football team. I think they could win a playoff game, but I don't know if giving up a third for Adams is worth it. I think you just throw the flag in.
Yeah.
Live with what you have. But
if this, doesn't... All right, say the Jets, this doesn't really work out, but then, they go, 500, and... how would you have an argument to bring this back again next year? Be like, let's run it back.
Oh, no, you don't, right?
What are we doing?
Rodgers probably retires if they go nowhere this year, right? I think.
I don't think so, though.
Really?
I think he wants to keep playing, which is, go play somewhere else, though. Yeah. Because, we just saw it, and we're like, okay, maybe we're good. Maybe we'll just... I don't know. The Jets haven't had a good quarterback in forever, so they're so desperate.
I guess that's probably what's going on. It's weird. It's really weird. It's a tough situation. They've kind of locked themselves into, so I get it, but I think you just pull the flag. I don't think the Adams trade is going to pay off. I don't think it's going to be the right move in the end. But, yeah, anything else for NFL, or you want to move into the NBA?
Yeah, let's go over to basketball.
I have one minor weird thing that I want to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey is shooting over 50% from 3 in the preseason. That's just something to mention. I know the Pistons aren't a team that we want to spend too much time talking about.
No, we can talk about the Pistons if you want.
Like Ivy,
go.
like if Ivy kind of has something going for him, like the Pistons could be a team to make the playoffs in the East because of Cade and Ivy, and they have Duran now. So
yeah, these guys, like the Pistons, like last year, I was sitting there last year at the beginning of the season, and I normally do these. We'll do this. We'll do this for next week. I normally do with like some of my friends. We'll do like you rank how you think the teams are going to finish in each conference. You rank who you think's going to win each award and like different little things. So like, it's kind of a fun just comparison. At the end of the season, you go back and look at it. And you're like, oh shoot, I was way off about these guys.
Yeah.
I had Detroit being like a fringe play-in team.
Ooh, last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I really was disappointed, especially like when they were on that 20-something game losing streak where they couldn't buy a win.
Oh, okay.
But
did they beat us or they almost beat us?
They took us to overtime.
Yeah. Okay.
But we beat them. Yeah, the Celtics.
That was insane.
So if you just like look at their roster, I mean, Pistons haven't been good for a while, so they have good draft picks. You know?
Yeah, like they have to.
You got Jalen Duran. He's 20 years old. Last year, he was rookie season. He dominated down low. Like that guy is going to be one of the best centers in the league for the next 8 years, probably.
Brings a lot of hope.
Yeah, and then you got Cade at point guard. Everybody knows Cade, number 1 overall pick. I saw him play in person in college. He was cooked. He cooked us, bro. He had like 30 points, and he would just like go to the elbow line of the free throw and just hit these jumpers, and no one could stop him. But he's a facilitator. Mm-hmm. He does everything. He rebounds. That guy's like he'll be all league. Like even though like he's on this terrible team right now.
Yeah. He's a franchise player.
Yeah.
Like once he gets things going around him.
Yeah, and then you got Ivy right next to him. He could play. He's listed as a point guard, but he's a shooting guard too. And I loved Javen Ivey in college at Purdue. Like
he was gross.
Yeah, so quick. He was the 4th overall pick. I thought he should have gone even like higher.
Who went over him? Do we remember that?
We'd have to look.
It was a 2022 draft. I want to say.
Yeah, 2022.
So let me see 1 through 58. So yeah, Ivy went 5. I mean, Keegan, like some pretty good players went before at this point. Paolo, Chet, Jabari Smith, Keegan Murray.
Okay, so you can't argue those top 3, but maybe Keegan Murray.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he has potential, and like I said, he's shooting 50% over from the 3 this preseason, and he's been under 34% for his career in the first 2 years. So that's big.
Yeah,
that's big. We know what the 3 ball can do in this league.
And then they also got Asar Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can rebound the ball. He's good. And Isaiah Stewart. So like that's their core. Then they also got like random guys. Like they brought in some vets this year, like Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, like Tim Hardaway Jr. Guys like that can play and will give you solid minutes.
Yeah.
And like if their goal right now is to make the play-in. Probably.
Yeah, 100%. That has to be.
And like if you can do that with these guys, I feel like that gives you a solid base, you know what I mean, to build off of and get guys to come play with you and be like, hey, look, we can play, but
absolutely.
Who's that coach right now?
They just hired Bickerstaff from Cleveland.
Okay.
So he's had success and he doesn't have to deal with this weird combination of talent like they had in Cleveland. Like they have kind of like a set. The Pistons kind of know what they should do. Cunningham's your 1 guard, Ivy's your 2 guard. You got Duran down low, and then you're kind of piecing the rest of the roster together. Asar Thompson, I think, is a good piece to build with. A 2-way player. Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley, like you said, those are vets that can hit shots and raise your team. So I like what they got going on.
Like they're almost like the Magic, where they've been so bad for so long that you have so much talent on your team, you can't be bad.
Right, 100%, 100%, and then you just kind of build off of that. So if Cade, last year he averaged 23 and 8. Like why don't people talk about that? 23 and 8 on 45% from the field is not bad.
Yeah,
that is not bad. But I feel like he's had this narrative around him that he hasn't been that good during his time in the NBA.
Yeah, just because he's always played with no one. And I guess their starting lineup this year will probably be Cade, Ivy, Tobias Harris, maybe
Asar, probably.
Yeah, Asar.
And Duran, right?
Duran, yeah.
Okay, and you got Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe even like Malik Beasley. He started for the Bucks last year,
Yeah.
so he could start. Who knows?
Absolutely.
So,
If Ivy needs to come off the bench, which the one thing I want to say is that like I think you want Cade and Ivy playing together, so hopefully like this Ivy 3-point improvement can be big. Like obviously he has some room to work with, but one like I think about Cade is he shot 31% from three in his first season, 27% in his second season. Now he's shooting up to 36%. So I like what the Pistons got going on. Specifically, I think they got a big three: Cunningham, Ivy, Durant.
yeah.
Like I really like it. So
And Thompson could be a guy too.
he should be.
So.
He should be. So yeah, I like what they got going on. I think they can make a run for the play-in.
Yeah, let's keep rolling with some hoops here.
Yeah.
One team I love is the Orlando Magic.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I've always, like last year, I loved the Magic.
All right.
I thought they were going to be good. The Franz Wagner kind of got a bad rap in the playoffs for the way he played, but, you know, he's young. Give him some time. Let's see here. Franz is 23 years old.
Oh, he's good.
So
He's good.
yeah, he's got plenty of time, and he's just got bagged. This team has so much talent on it between. Let's take a look here. You got Cole Anthony at point guard. You got Anthony Black, who's coming up next year. You got Gary Harris.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mac McClung. I didn't realize he's on there, but he won't play. Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner. You got Paulo. So you got, and then they brought in KCP. They got Wendell Carter coming in off Jonathan Isaac, one of the best two-way guards two-way players in the league. So
I think so. Like it's looking like Suggs is probably gonna start the point. KCP at the two. Because I feel like KCP is definitely starting. As that 3-and-D guy, Franz and Paolo, and then Wendell Carter Jr. probably at the 5. What do you think about Carter? Like, I feel like he has a lot of potential, but hasn't always shown it.
I like him because he can shoot. You know what I mean?
That's a new thing he's added too, right?
He can shoot. Maybe I don't know how much he was shooting last year, but during games he had the ability to like stretch the floor and just keep guys honest. Like, 37% last year, averaging 1-3 a game. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's really good for a rim protecting big man and an athletic one at that. So you think this is the year that the Magic kind of jump from a playoff team can compete with the Cavs, but they're not going to compete with the Celtics.
No.
This year, are they going to be a team that could, compete in a playoff series with maybe not the Celtics, but a team like the Knicks, a team like the Bucks, the Heat? Like are they right behind the Celtics and the Knicks?
I think they're better than the Heat.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd be as good as the Bucks. I think it just comes down to Paulo right now. Like he's 21 years old, and let's see, he was like you said, he averaged.
He was an all-star last year.
27 points a game last year, 8.5 rebounds, shot 45 from the field. He can shoot the three ball. Like the guy, he can like make his own shots. Doesn't matter if guys are in his face. He's still making shots. He's only going to get stronger, bigger, smarter.
And he's got Franz next to him. So these are two guys who can really score.
Yeah.
What do you think about the point guard situation? Suggs is probably going to start because he's kind of been that guy. But, like, you have Cole Anthony and you got Anthony Black on the bench. What happens with that? Like, what did they draft Anthony Black for?
Yeah,
The defense, but, like, you haven't seen anything from him. They haven't really played him, but they've drafted him just over a year ago.
Yeah, he's super young. He's like 20, so he can't even. Okay,
that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. Last year, like when he played, he was a little underwhelming, like for a 6 overall pick. But like, hey, just give it some time. I think he's an athletic guard, so give him some time to develop
And not re-signing Fultz kind of indicates that they probably do want him to play a role in the future.
I was surprised they didn't bring Fultz back. Yeah. Fultz had a good role there.
He's a good player.
He kind of fit what they wanted to do. Maybe they just like weren't psyched about the health. Like he's always kind of all banged up.
He also has been a miserable 3-point shooter throughout his career, and it really hasn't gotten better. I think that and the health probably. He played 43 games last year, 60 the year before, 18. 8. Like, he can't stay healthy. He can't shoot the three.
Yeah. I loved a good Fultz comeback story, though.
Everybody does, Like, how could you not root for that guy?
Yeah.
But, so you think the Magic are going to be in that race.
I don't know. I'd say like last year was their breakout year, so I think it won't be as much this year. You can say the same thing about the Pacers.
Yeah, you can. What about so Celtics are atop the East. Then do you have the Knicks as the second? Because I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're really good. Then third, like who's the third best team in the East? Is it the Sixers? It should be, but is it? I don't know.
Yeah, if Embiid's healthy, I think the Sixers.
I agree.
That. And then you got to go Milwaukee.
You got to because they have Giannis.
Yeah.
And they have Damian Lillard still. But then
I don't know. You can make an argument like Indiana, Orlando, and Cleveland will all make a run for that fourth spot.
They should. Yeah. Miami, like, what is Miami doing? Like, are they still this team that's going to come and be a force in the playoffs, especially against the Celtics, playoff time?
They're like stuck in purgatory. They're not good enough to be like winning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they aren't bad enough to be getting good draft picks, so they gotta like rely on their system and you look at their roster, you don't even know half the guys on it. Drew Smith, Khalil Ware, Warren Washington, Zion Pullen. Come on. Are we
But they always
I think Jimmy's gotta go.
He has to, but they always he's still their guy and they always seem to make it kind of work, I don't know. I like their starting this starting five, specifically Rozier, Harrow, Butler, Jovic, Adebayo. As the Celtics, if we played them in a playoff series right now, just knowing the Heat, I feel like they get 2 games out of us. I don't know how. The roster is not there. It really is not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're still the Heat. I'm still looking at them and they have players. I don't know, though. I think this may be the year they kind of fall off.
They're paying Hero a lot of money. He hasn't gotten better. He's had some injury issues. Jimmy Butler, he hasn't really been healthy. And that year they went to the NBA Finals, they were the playing team, the 8th seed. You know what I mean? So
that's kind of what I'm saying is they have 8 seed finishes and then they make the finals. It's when do we count them out? I don't know.
I mean, Bam is he's really good. He's one of the top 5 centers in the league.
That's true. And Jimmy Butler turns it on and Spo, and they always seem to get it going. But yeah, I don't know about the Heat. I really don't.
They've exhausted so many options between Kyle Lowry, between Kevin Love, bringing in all these guys that just nothing,
don't get it done at the end of the day.
Over the edge. Yeah,
you're right. You're completely right. And I don't know if Rozier is that guy. He's a scorer, not a playmaker.
He's a fun player to watch.
Absolutely, but is he going to get that going? No, I don't think so. Do you want to talk any more about the East? I want to say the Hawks, who knows how good they could be, depending on how their first overall rookie, Zach, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Zachariah Ricochet?
Yeah, imagine he's an all-star level player, year 1, year 2, with Trae Young, I don't know. They could be a play-in team. I don't think they're a contender.
I just don't like that Trae Young style of ball.
Really?
I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. Jalen Johnson, he's fun. DeAndre Hunter, he's a good shooter. They got Dyson Daniels they brought in. He's pretty good. I don't know. They kind of got some, Clint Capella, he's not great. Bogdanovich, he's streaky. You know what I mean?
I'm a big Trae Young fan, I'll say that, but I am realistic. He can't defend. He's not a 1. He's a 2. A lot of people say he's a 3. I think he might be a 2 on a championship team. Depending on how good the Zachary guy can be, I'm not, an expert on him, I'm not going to lie, but, they drafted him first overall. He should be pretty good. If he can be better than Trae Young, be a 2-way player, who knows how good the Hawks can be with that duo. If they can, attract another free agent on the wing or at the center position, you never know. But I do want to say that I am a Trae Young fan. I like Trae Young.
Okay.
But I'm realistic about him. This Hawks team's not going anywhere for now.
Yeah. No, I feel like he'll put up numbers, but they just aren't in the game.
Got you. I think he can put up numbers on a team that's in the game,
and like him and DeJounte didn't vibe off each other. So like we'll see if maybe
That's true.
Jalen Johnson becomes better.
I just hated that trade to begin with.
And they maybe sign someone free agency or make a trade, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They're probably a fringe. Like they didn't make the playoffs last year, so they're a fringe playing team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's really anybody else in the East that can make much noise. I don't know where the Cavs are going. Probably not forwards. But yeah, Western Conference. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Word.
Can I get something off my chest?
Yeah, of course.
The Dallas Mavericks are like so overrated, man.
I completely
I don't
agree.
understand
I completely
this.
agree.
I don't understand it. Like the Mavs, like people are like, Luka puts up crazy numbers and he can do it all himself, but like the guys they brought in, like I don't know if they got better. They brought in like Spencer Dinwiddie. They bring in Keaton Grimes. Like he's solid, but like I don't know. They didn't really address anything, and then they bring Klay Thompson, and I've thought he's washed for the past season. You know what I mean? 100%. And then he goes out the other night in preseason. You see this shoot 0 for 9.
It was terrible. Like
0 for 9.
Why did people have hope for this signing? What? He's terrible. He's garbage at this point. Like if you couldn't make it work with the Warriors that he's been playing with, winning championships for a decade, why would he be able to make it work with the Dallas Mavericks? Like. The Dallas Mavericks got lucky last year in the playoffs because they played young teams. The really good teams in the West were really young outside the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves matched up phenomenally.
And Luka was on like God mode.
That's the thing. Like you have Luka, and you get a little lucky, you can make runs like that. And I don't think it's gonna happen again. Like, well, I think Kyrie showed in the finals he's not that guy. He's not that guy. I love Kyrie as a basketball player, but he's not.
Yeah, I think, Minnesota gets tougher. I think Randall puts up a better fight than Towns against, guys like P.J. Washington,
Absolutely.
Derek Lively.
100%. 100%.
Daniel Gafford.
I'm looking at the West, and the Thunder are only going to get better. The Timberwolves are only going to get better. They're getting older and better. The Mavericks, they're not getting better. They're not getting better. I mean...
No. The Mavericks... I'd say the Mavericks, the Clippers, and the Suns are almost in a similar boat where they're just they got old teams, they got old cores, and they're kind of just holding on. This is their last hope.
Absolutely.
No option if this don't. I mean, obviously Dallas, Luka is a little bit younger than those other guys on LA and Phoenix, but I don't know.
Absolutely. I really don't know what to think about the Clippers and the Suns just because they're so old. They don't. It's what direction are we going in? You don't have great role players anymore. I think the Clippers, you lost Paul George.
Looking at this, there's maybe, in the Western Conference, there's, one...
Do you think...
There's, one team I want to play. That's an easy win, and then everyone else is, a battle. Look at this. Golden State, you got Curry. Utah Jazz, you got Lauri Markkanen, and, they got a good surrounding cast there, so they should be a potential playing team. You got Memphis with Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bane. You got Phoenix. They're loaded with 3 stars. Clippers, they got James Harden. They got Kawhi Leonard.
Absolutely.
OKC's loaded. Minnesota's loaded. Houston's got, Sengun.
Yeah.
Jalen Green. Reed Shepard looks like he's a baller.
A baller. Yeah. An absolute baller. Rookie of the Year candidate.
Some of those clips coming out are crazy.
Jabari Smith Jr. is only getting better.
And then they also got vets like Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet. So if those guys aren't pulling their weight, those guys will.
I like Houston this year. I love Reed Shepard. I love that dude. That dude can shoot the lights out of the...
Yeah.
He can shoot the lights out.
San Antonio, nobody wants to play Wemby.
Nobody wants to play Wemby.
Pelicans,
nobody wants to play them.
Zion, Ingram, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum. That's a good squad. Lakers, you got LeBron, AD. Mavericks, you got Luka, Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento, you got DeRozan, Fox, Sabonis. Denver, you got Murray, Jokic. Every team's got
stars.
2 stars.
Stars.
The West is going to be a dogfight.
Outside of Portland, and I think Utah is bottoming out. Man. But at the same time, and I completely agree with you, but at the same time, I'm looking at teams like the Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they could be overtaken by teams like Memphis, Houston,
Yeah.
Sacramento, New Orleans. New Orleans got DeJounte Murray. Like, obviously, there's the health thing, but for years they've been an elite team when healthy, but they can't stay healthy for their life. It's brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird situation there. Would you say the top three teams are the Thunder, Nuggets, and Timberwolves, or do you not think the Thunder? I mean, do you think the Timberwolves? Like, who's your number one in the West?
Yeah, Thunder.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Thunder.
I'm-
Especially, like, I don't know, through preseason, like, I've been watching a few, like, Hartenstein, he's playing a ton. He looks good. And then, like, they just have so many guys in that Thunder team.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep, Caruso, like Jalen Williams, all these guys.
they can mix and match. They could play Chet and Hartenstein, go big, or they could go
They can do so
play
much.
Chet and go small, everyone around them. So
Yes. Dort, what do you think about him? Does he have to go? Can he shoot the ball well enough?
yeah, I don't know. He's got to like become a more selective shooter. You know what I mean? He obviously catches fire at times, but if he's just jacking up shots and like,
Caruso's going to go in over him. Casey Wallace is going to get minutes over him. Like,
yeah, no, like all these guys, Isaiah Joe, you got all these guys battling for minutes. So.
Yeah. Aaron Wiggins, like you got guys. I agree. I think the Thunder and the Wolves are the top two teams in the West. As for the Nuggets, I'm just thinking, like, what are we doing with the depth? You know?
They haven't gotten better.
Yeah. By the way, what time do you have to get out of here?
We got a class at 12:30, so if we get out at 12:20, I'm
Bet.
fine.
Let me know. All right, bet.
I'm
So,
like right across.
word. Awesome. So, Thunder, Wolves, top two. Do you agree with that, or are you putting somebody over the Wolves? Because I love the trade for the Timberwolves. I think you kind of reached your ceiling with Cat and Gobert together. I think Cat can only do so much, even though he's a great shooter. I love Edwards. I love McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like, Naz Reid, how can you not love that guy? Gobert is going to lead a top 5 defense. The guard situation's cool. Like, you got Conley, the vet, and then you got Dillingham, the rookie, and then you got Kyle Alexander-Walker to play defense. You got DiVincenzo to do absolutely everything whenever you need it. So I love it. Like,
yeah, no, they're set.
who do you think's going to start at the 4, Randall or Reed?
Randall.
Okay,
Yeah.
Randall starting at the 4.
Yeah, Randall's all NBA. He's gonna start.
Okay, Conley at the 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Dillingham off the bench.
Dude, I love it. Dillingham and DiVincenzo and Reed off the bench. That's your 8-man. And
Yeah,
Alexander
that's
Walker.
crazy.
That's a
crazy.
really good 9-man rotation. And then, I mean, you look at Joe Ingles as a guy who can shoot. I'm not sure what he's doing at this point in his career. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's very good. But, like,
He was chilling on the Magic last year.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, you got a good 9-man rotation. Do you think they're done with moves, or do you think they try and move Randall? I like it. I like what they have.
They're done.
I like what they have. I
Maybe they
completely
go
agree.
get another role player if they need him, but
Yeah.
that's it.
I like it, and I like who knows how good Dillingham could be. Who knows? As for the Nuggets, so like
They didn't get better.
They didn't. They
Yeah.
didn't, and now they're kind of stuck. Are they kind of stuck? Obviously, you have Jokic, but Murray. I mean, he's still Jamal Murray. I'll give him that, but he's, like there's kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm thinking? Like Porter, Murray, Gordon.
I'm not writing Murray off just because I wrote him off after he got injured before they won that championship.
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh, Murray's done. I don't know if it was ACL or something, but it was something in his knee or his leg. And I was like, all right, this dude's done. No way. And I saw him in person. He couldn't move. I saw him drop like 6 points in the Celtics. I was like, all right, I don't know. And then boom, he goes on that playoff run and just proved us wrong. So
Absolutely.
I don't like going against Murray.
I honestly agree, but Porter and Gordon, what are we thinking about them? Like, obviously the system is good if you have depth, but you got to start looking at the long term. You got to look at the fact that you don't have anyone on your bench like Peyton Watson and Russell Westbrook. Are we serious?
Yeah, Michael Porter, he's just
He's good, but
you don't know what you're getting from him,
right? I mean, like you'll take him, but is he your second best player now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think Murray's still better, but I don't love having Porter and Gordon right now. It was great for when you're at your peak. You're contending for championships. You got the pieces on the bench, but now you don't.
They got no one off the bench. Like Christian Braun, they're going to be relying on.
Like, I'm
And
hopeful
bring
for
in
him.
Dario Saric and Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't like it. I really don't
Yeah.
like it. But they still have Jokic, so you still got to give them their respect. But I don't like it. I think the Thunder and the Wolves are going to start to separate themselves. I think the Grizzlies. I mean, what do you think about the Grizzlies? Because like, I think they have the culture.
I love him. I love the John Morant. I just don't know if he can stay healthy. Like we saw through one already in the preseason, his ankle's already messed up, and he's not going to be playing. And it's just like I feel like this guy. It's always something, and like it's nothing like with him. You know what I mean? But like I just don't like that. But I saw this. You see the clip of Edie the other day?
Was it good? I did not see it.
Dude, he's like he can move. And like he's got getting the ball, he's bouncing off these guys and spinning and dunking and making these passes. Like Edie looks like he's gonna play.
So JJJ, Edie, and Clark. There's no worries at the big man position. Like that's really good.
Yeah.
The guards are really good. Josh Smart, Bane, Kennard. Like you got talent, but. What about the wing position? Do you think that's going to hold them back, or do you think they can roll with Morant, Smart, and Bane playing and starting? You know, like it's small. I mean, I know you have the big men, but is it kind of a Cavs situation where you got guards and you got bigs, but you don't have wings?
Yeah, let's see here.
I don't know, because like John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard. Those are 4 good guards. You got 3 good big men, but you're missing a wing.
Yeah, I mean, Bane can sort of slide down.
Okay.
And then to small forward. And then they also have this guy named Brandon Clark. Is it power forward?
Yes, Brandon Clark.
Yeah, he's good. He's like, he's young a few years ago. But then, like, he's a 3-point. He can stretch the floor, but he's serviceable, you know?
Yeah, so you're thinking Clark and Bane can kind of find that happy medium.
Yeah.
All right. I still just think they're missing one piece. I think
Cam Spencer's on the Grizzlies.
Oh. I don't see him on the depth chart. He's on the roster?
He must be on, like, the preseason.
That
must be where I'm seeing it, yeah.
That's championship DNA, role players who can hit shots and defend, but, I mean, the NBA is a new level.
Yeah.
NBA is another level. He was on the best team, not going against the best team, you know?
Well, that guy, Adrian Griffin, he's one of the best coaches in the league.
Where's Adrian Griffin now?
He's Memphis, I'm pretty sure. Am I mixing up his name?
Adrian Griffin, I'm thinking was the Raptors coach who went to the Bucks. So,
yeah.
But I agree with you. Their coach is amazing.
Will Taylor. Yeah.
That's his name?
I think so.
Grizzlies head coach. Taylor Jenkins. Okay.
Taylor Jenkins.
No,
yeah,
okay. We were just confused on the name, but we know him. He's a great coach. He's established his culture. You know who I think they're missing? I think they're missing Dillon Brooks. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Marcus Smart was injured all of last year.
That's true.
Think about that.
That's true. I'm just thinking a wing, you know? Like, I don't know. I just kind of have like a little like weird look at them, you know? But hopefully they can make it work. If they had an 8th guy, I think I'd be a little bit more confident. But, you know, one injury, and I'm like, I don't know. I want to look at Memphis as a team who can make a run to, you know, like the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Like compete with a team like the Thunder or the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Not that they're at that level right now.
If John Morant is healthy, I think they can.
Like,
they can try.
You're a big Ja fan. I'm a huge Ja fan.
Yeah.
Like, as a player, at least, like that dude's a baller. That dude's maybe not.
I don't like
level,
him as a person.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe not.
That has nothing to do with basketball.
Right.
So
he maybe not ant level, but maybe he's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
All
so
right. Before we get out of here, you want to touch some college?
Absolutely.
College hoops?
Let's do it. So Merrimack.
You want to talk about Merrimack, or you want to talk about top 25 general?
Let's talk about the top 25 right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you have like favorite teams you watch, or what's your kind of like how any teams play.
Let me look at it. So Alabama's the number 2 team. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Who do they have coming back? Do they have guys coming back? Because I feel like they were kind of,
I don't think so.
Like they were carried by that one guard. Number 1. Do they still have him?
Sears,
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's back.
Okay, that makes sense.
Back for
all right, that's big for them. Kansas as well. UConn.
You got Duke. Yeah, you got Duke number 7.
They're going to be
Cooper
good. They got
Flag.
those 2 twins too, right?
Yeah.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then, yeah, you got UConn. They lost a bunch of guys, but they got a whole bunch of recruits. So, who knows if they'll stay up there, but that's pretty good. My favorite team in all college basketball to watch, the way they play, is Houston.
The defense.
Their coach has these guys rebounding like absolute animals. I love it.
They have a great culture established. It's just a matter of time before they get over that.
They play like a tough, physical brand of basketball. It's bully ball. We're stronger than you. It's our basketball. You
got to respect it, and it works. I mean, what do you think held them back last year? Like, what they lost to Texas Tech? I want to say in that really good overtime game. Who was their guard? I know they had like LJ Cryer.
They've always had a good guard. Like every year, whether it's Sasser, they have somebody.
I love Sasser. He's in Detroit right now.
Savage, I think.
Let me see.
A few years back, he was nasty too.
Last year, I really liked LJ Cryer, and they had that guy who went crazy, Jamal Sheed.
Yeah, he's gone, I think.
Yeah, that sucks. But they're gonna come back.
That's a plug and play team.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be good, and they still got LJ Cryer coming back, so that's huge. He's probably one of their best players throughout the year.
They say the best conference in basketball is going to be Big 12 this upcoming year. So should be interesting. Let's see who's ranked. You got Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, all in the top 10. Is Arizona Big 12 too?
They are, yeah. They are.
Jeez. They got like 4 or 5 top 10 teams.
Or are they Pac-12? Arizona may be Pac-12.
No, they aren't anymore.
Oh, okay.
They moved.
Okay.
They moved to either ACC or one of the. You know what I mean?
It would have to be the Big 12. It would have to be, right? Let me look it up actually.
I think you got
Big 12.
Okay. Yeah, and then SEC is going to be good, and then also the Big East as well.
Oh yeah, so it'll be good.
Yeah, let's touch on Merrimack before we get out of here, dude.
Shout out Bud Clark, dude. He's our star coming into the year. He had a great breakout season as a rookie last year. Losing Jordan Durkak, that's a big loss to Rutgers. We're going to play him some point in the year. But, we're going to need big seasons from guys like Brian Atanu. Guys like, obviously, Bud Clark. He's going to have to, I think that's the big thing. He's going to have to keep up the scoring, keep up the playmaking, keep up the absolute dog on the defensive side of the ball. Are we going to run back the same kind of defensive system, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, we always run this, make chaos defense, which is, this, it's not, it's a mix of, man and zone. So, they'll press a little bit up the floor, and then they'll get into zone. And it's confusing, and it confuses other teams, that's for sure.
And Bud excels in it. He was atop the conference in steals, atop college basketball in steals. He's having 2, 3, 4 steals a game.
Let's see, ready? He was 8th in steals at the Division I level. That's nasty.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy.
And he shot 50% from the mid range, in conference play. So
that pull up midi.
Yeah, that's the second half of the season. So he was getting better as the season went along, and I think he is the preseason all MAC team.
Dude, he's good. He's good. Obviously, he was playing the 2 role behind Durkak last year. He's gonna have to play the 1 role. We have Malik Edweed, another talented guard coming in. He's probably gonna play a good amount with Bud. It's a small combo, but
so I didn't know much about him before you mentioned that kid. I went and looked him up. He played at Merrimack. He started half the games in 2 years ago.
Okay.
Or actually 3 years ago. So it was the 2021-2022 season. And as a player, he averaged 9 points a game. He shot 45 from the field, 38% from 3, and was second on the team in assists. So you're getting this kid who he went to another school, UAlbany, and he didn't play much. And then he tried transferring back here last year, and NCAA didn't accept his waiver for him. So he had to sit for a year. So this kid's he's old. He's coming in as a redshirt junior, and he's going to be able to contribute right away off the bench as a reliable backup point guard who's played in the system before, so he should be able to make.
He was around the team the whole year last year. He was sitting on the bench. Unfortunately, he couldn't play, but he knows we've got something. We've got something in him.
Hey, I saw he's one of the only Merrimack basketball players to make SportsCenter top 10. So
no way!
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Shout out Malik.
I saw something about that.
Shout out Malik.
No way!
Wow. That's crazy. And then those two small guards. We also got Stinson. Who's experienced in the system. He's a good player. Both sides of the ball. So
yeah, Stinson. He's a big guard, so he can defend like bigger guards. He rebounds well, and he played third season here, so he knows the system, he knows his role, and
he knows what's going on. Matt Becht, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah,
he's a transfer. Where's he coming from?
Yeah, SNHU, Southern New Hampshire University.
Division II.
Yeah, Division II.
So he's played a big role before.
Yeah, so he played there. He was there either 3 or 4 years. But when he was there, all 3 years, he averaged like 16 points a game on average. And like this guy is just a straight up shooter. Like this dude,
awesome.
He shoots. So 70% of his shots come from 3. And so this guy, on Twitter, just go look up this guy, Matt Becht, Becht. I saw a stat. He made the second most threes in all of college basketball across all divisions last year, and he was behind Jack Golke, but he shot a full 6% better. So this dude can shoot the cover off the ball.
The combination of him and Savage shooting the ball.
Yeah. When you look at these clips, dude, he's like running around screens, catch and shoot, but he's also like he can make his own shot. He's a little bit like Pritchard a little bit in the fact that like he can like with guys in his face make his own shot, or he can create some separation.
So are we thinking a little bit of a Durkak role? Obviously deferring to Bud Clark more.
Yeah. This kid's just gonna keep the defense honest. He'll sit in the corner, and when we need a bucket, this will be the kid to go to. That's for sure.
That's exciting.
So this kid will start, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Savage so Atumnu with the 5, Brian Atumnu with the 5.
Yeah.
Bud Clark and so Malik starting?
No, so I think it depends what they want to do or who they're playing. Because say they're playing like someone with a really big center. Like I think they have this new kid, David Murray, who's a D3 All-American. They brought in. I guess he's been like their best scorer in practice. The kid's just a beast.
Okay.
He averaged 18 and 9 last year, 2 blocks a game. The kid's just a beast. So obviously it's going to be a step up playing D1 competition. But I think if you play in a big team, him and Atumnu will play together at times. But then also you got this guy named Sean Trumper. We brought in a forward from Franklin Pierce, D2, 18 a game. 8 rebounds a game.
You gotta like that.
Yeah. So all these guys, we have old players that are coming in to make an immediate impact. I saw Joe Gallo had a quote on some podcast. He was like, I love this day and age right now. I feel like a GM. I can literally piece a team together. A lot of people are complaining about what's happening, but I like to embrace it. So these big D1 schools, they're coming down and taking our best players, but we're also going and taking the next best division's players. So we're doing the same thing, and I'm hoping these kids can come in and make an immediate impact and replacement because we lost Durkak.
We lost
our best
Durkak.
Player, conference player of the year, but also another starter, and then also 4 other guys who played, and Jordan McCoy, Jacob O'Connell. So we got a lot of men to fill.
Guys, bring shooting, bring size. So, yeah, I mean, Joe Gallo, he's got his hands full, but if we're going to trust anybody, it's going to be Joe Gallo. He's an amazing head coach, phenomenal.
Run through the schedule real quick?
Yeah, let's run through it.
So non-conference is stacked. It's actually, I was shocked when I first saw it. So we start the season off with UVM, one of the best teams in the American. They're consistently in the tournament. VCU, they were actually ranked I think inside the top 50 when I saw. So that's going to be a big test to start the season.
Absolutely.
And we play a lot of these games out of conference on the road too, because we're lower Division One. So
Yeah.
these schools are paying us money to play them, and we have a reputation of having a good basketball team. So it's hard to get schools to want to play us.
It is. I mean? It really is.
Like these good schools see us and they're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather play Stonehill.
Absolutely. And you can't blame him. You can't blame him. But hey, that's a good thing for us.
So
at the end of the day.
Yeah, you got Princeton,
Rutgers, Butler.
That Rutgers one will be fun with Durkak.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
So
unfortunately, it's not.
Eventually, go in there and beat them. Rutgers actually good this year.
That'd be fascinating. They were really good. They've got top 10 recruit.
Yeah, and then they brought in Durkak. I don't even think Durkak's gonna start.
And hey,
off the bench.
We know Durkak. That dude's a baller. Shout out to him. All respect to him from Merrimack.
Yeah.
That dude is a good player. He deserved the opportunity.
In the championship for us. So.
Yeah, and he received a lot of hate for it, literally in national media, and it's a shame. But he's a baller. Shout out to him.
Yeah, moving on. So we got Big Ten. We're playing Big Ten. We're playing A10.
Okay.
We're playing Big East. We're playing Butler, and then we also play UMass Lowell in a rivalry game. And then you keep going. You got Stanford. We go out for a West Coast trip. Play ACC Stanford, and then we also play St. Mary's. So they're always one of the best West Coast teams up there with Gonzaga.
They're up there, dude.
So these our non-conference schedule could be I was looking at it and I'd say you'd be happy if you could win five of these.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
You're playing some really good teams. You hope you get some good experience going into conference play. And then you can take this and hopefully, take your growing pains. But also, I don't know. I think, once you get to conference play, you want to be ready.
Absolutely.
Hit the ground run, especially in these conferences. You got to give yourself every advantage you can.
100%. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you a question. Could we win the MAC? Maybe not a 1 seed, but could we win the tournament?
Yeah.
I think we could, too.
Yeah.
I think we could, too.
It's definitely not unrealistic or out of the expectation. And the best team in the conference will be Quinnipiac, I think.
We can compete with them.
So,
we absolutely can compete with them, if not beat them.
They won the conference last year. They returned 4 of their 5 starters, so
they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
They're going to be a tough play. But, hey, Bud Clark.
But this conference is up for grabs. Only 2 players who had all conference awards last year, 2 out of 15 are back in the conference.
Okay.
Every good player left, and there's a lot of.
So Quinnipiac's that top of the food chain. Okay.
But you never know.
You never know.
It's college basketball.
It's college basketball, bro. So. You never know about anything, let alone college basketball. So.
But I'm excited.
I am too.
It's I'm less than a month away.
I know Merrimack basketball. I'm super hyped for. NBA, I'm hyped for, but Merrimack basketball, we're around it. We'll write on it. We'll do everything with it. So shout out to the boys. Great season coming up.
I'm trying to crank out those. I'm doing a season preview for the Beacons. So
nice.
It should be out within the next week. So.
Awesome, dude. Can't wait to see that. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. We'll be back next Wednesday. Sounds good. All right. Peace out.